temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you've received from God. You are not your own, from 1 Corinthians 6:19. He's kind of in the middle of working on a campaign called Take It Back, that we've got to take our temples back, because we've given them over to the world, really, and we've succumbed to their ways of doing things. Okay, so what I do is I help people find the missing piece to their health puzzle, whatever that is. I think we all have things that we kind of wonder about, why do I feel like this, or what's this pain here, or why can I not, breathe it, or a skin condition. We just have things we don't know about. So I want to help you find the answers to those things. For every symptom that you have, there's an underlying cause. And we have a banner out here, and it has different symptoms on there, but be thinking about something that you suffer with. The thing is, most of us don't really know how good we should feel, because we have gotten used to having a headache every day, or we've gotten used to getting tired around lunchtime, and we just think that's how we are, and we can't do anything about it, but we can. So, what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is called electrodermal feedback, and it's a software system that communicates with your innate intelligence to find out what's going on in your body and what's most important for your healing. So I'm just asking, are you looking for answers? We were. I had never had a headache in my life. I'm 39. I mean, I think I had one once when I came down with the chicken pox. But I just didn't get headaches. So last summer, I started getting headaches, and it was like all day, every day I had a headache, and I tried to, eat something, drink something, get it to go away. And then I had a couple of these things, I think they're called ARAs or something, some kind of migraines. I didn't hurt, but my vision started, my peripheral vision would turn black. And so I started getting a little concerned, I guess you'd say. My son was having digestive issues. He would start to eat, and he would say, my tummy hurts, and he didn't want to eat. My husband was having digestive issues. My son was having stomach aches, and my daughter's 13, so we're just a little emotional. And I thought, well, we all need to go figure something out so I could go back to work the next year and not fight that headache all day. So we traveled to Nashville. We were looking around town for a naturally minded doctor. So I was able to reconnect with a former mentor, and we saw that she was practicing homeopathic medicine. So our whole family, it was kind of like our summer vacation, I guess. We got in the car and we traveled to Nashville, Tennessee. And we were all tested one Saturday morning. It wasn't something we really felt like we could afford to do, but it was something we felt like we couldn't afford not to do. And just as a mom, it's hard for me to do something and not include the kids, so I just felt like it was something we all needed to try. So, okay, so I'm just thinking about you, what symptoms you might be experiencing. If anybody wants to share something they have or someone they know has. I mean, I could show you give you some ideas of some symptoms. I mean, we could go on and on from A to Z, but aches and pains, acid reflux, acne is a symptom. Allergies, people just think I have allergies, but you don't have to. I even recently learned that weight problems, that those are symptoms. That's a symptom of some underlying issue that could be corrected. Emotions, depression, lack of energy, infections, and sometimes we don't even know we have them, but our body's not healing for some reason. So any symptom that we have, I want to help you find the root cause and balance from there. I want us to compare the two here, modern medicine to the holistic approach. Now, my son is 11. When he was 8 days old, he had congestive heart failure, and I mean, we needed medicine. We needed doctors. They saved his life. So I know there's a time and a place for that, but I think a lot of times we go to the doctor and we may not always need to. Sometimes we go too quickly, and sometimes they sometimes sorry. Okay, we're going to read Modern Medicine, some of the things that, I guess, what they believe. They treat the symptom or the symptomatic relief without deeper investigation of what's underneath. Sometimes they cut out the problem, literally, with surgeries. Sometimes they cut out organs that don't have to be cut out. I mean, they do it because it's the best, it's what they've learned, it's the best thing to do, but a lot of times we can save things that we don't realize we can. So when you cut out something, new diseases can spring up somewhere else because they didn't fix the problem, they cut it out. Well, the problem's still there, the root cause is still there. Modern medicine focuses on disease and symptoms, covering up symptoms while causing other issues or side effects. Now, with the holistic approach, we try to deal with the root cause, because if we don't, the disease will get worse or it'll just manifest itself in a new form. So even though we get rid of that sore throat with an antibiotic or an ear infection with an antibiotic, it's either going to come back or it's going to come back in a different way. We need to find the root cause of it. To be healed is to be made whole. Every body part has a purpose. God didn't give us any extra parts. The holistic approach focuses on balancing the imbalanced body systems to recover and maintain health. I like this quote from Samuel Thompson. He was an American herbalist and botanist of the 1700s. He says, "Remove the cause and the effect will cease." And we want to remove that cause with healing. So I'm just going to share with you one example. Raise your hand if you know of someone that has cured high blood pressure by taking drug medications. Okay. It doesn't happen. Okay. I know there's a lot of words here to look at, but just like many other ailments, high blood pressure is a problem associated with lifestyle. It's virtually unknown in undeveloped areas of the world where people are living on traditional diets. High blood pressure is not found in Africa, even among the elderly, but 60 million Americans have this problem. 90% of all cases are treated with drugs, never examining the cause, only the symptom. So what if I told you 80% of all hypertension cases can be effectively managed with dietary and lifestyle changes accompanied by herbs and supplements? High blood pressure, just like all these other things, is a symptom. It's not a disease in itself. It's a sign that something's restricting blood flow to other parts of the body. Now, using a medication that decreases pressure does not remove the obstruction interfering with blood flow. Now you've decreased blood pressure with poor circulation, so you've really traded one health problem for another, and that's not what you want to do. So our goal is to determine why the heart's pumping harder and increasing the blood pressure, then fixing the cause. The heart will stop pumping harder and the blood pressure will drop. So that's just one example. You could really take all those symptoms and dissect them in that way. I want to show you this. It's called the disease tree. Have any of you ever seen this before? Okay, I'm going to show you it piece by piece, and we're going to start at the bottom where it says constitution. Okay? Now, that's your soil, your emotional makeup. Have you noticed how some people can deal with a problem and another person can, and they have a different, just a completely different response? And I know there's a difference in having Jesus and having the hope of Him carrying you through things. I don't know how people live without it, but still, emotionally, some people can handle things better than others. Okay? So, a healthier lifestyle, better nutrition, and mental attitudes can alter how your genes are utilized in cells, improve your health, and prevent you from getting genetically prone illnesses. So yes, we are genetically prone to certain things, but we can slow those things down, we can prevent them. Just because grandma or mom had that doesn't mean that you have to. So these are the 4 basic roots of disease. Okay, and when I look at this, I mean, that surprises me. Mental and emotional stress, I mean, we kind of hear about it, but you don't think of it as a root, one of the 4 root causes of disease. Nutritional deficiencies, we don't put enough emphasis on that. Physical trauma, if you've had physical trauma any time in your life, I mean, I tested a lady once that had fallen off a horse when she was 8, and she's dealing with some condition in her brain where she has to have treatments to get her it's fistula or something, to get these vessels to stop rupturing or something. I mean, physical trauma that we've had can cause things later in life. And then toxic overload. Over 80,000 chemicals are utilized in our society, in our cosmetics, in our foods, in our prescription drugs, in the air we breathe. They're just toxins that we can't always avoid. Going back to the mental and emotional stress, I just think this is interesting. People who continue to experience health problems no matter what they do, okay, you've got something going on and you just can't seem to kick it no matter what you do, often have unresolved mental and emotional stress that must be resolved before healing can occur. 50% of people's unresolved medical issues can be related to unresolved mental and emotional stress. So that's something we deal with too. And I don't know about you, but I was a little surprised to find out that things like oils and supplements could actually change my mental and emotional stress. But I'm going to tell you, my whole household is different than it was when we were first tested. The tension it's just different. And I have other friends that'll call and say, you know, my son needs retested. He's hard to handle right now, and we'll find something that'll just help them, I guess, take the edge off. And a lot of times it's a nutritional deficiency or something like that, or something going on with the endocrine glands, the hormones and things like that. So this is the trunk of the tree. A good farmer knows if he keeps the soil healthy, his plants will be healthy and resistant to damage and disease. So you need to be a good farmer for optimal health in your life. We need to keep our soil healthy, and that's our soil right there. I've got a sheet out here that, well, several things that you can take home with you just to help you, give you some ideas. Okay, so the branches, these are the body systems. And what I do is I test your body, and I'll show you in just a minute kind of what that looks like, but I test the body systems and I find where the imbalances are. If it's your liver, your central nervous system, your emotions could come up as important. Just any body system. And that's where we start exploring and bringing them back into balance. So if we don't fix what's going on in our body systems, then eventually we'll end up with specific diseases or symptoms. So natural healing helps us determine which body systems are affected, and then we use herbs, supplements, and other natural therapies to support the structure and function of these systems. So what we want to do is restore balance to help a person recover their health or to maintain the health that they have. Okay, so here are the twigs and leaves, and those are just the symptoms that we've been talking about, just different symptoms. God's made your body capable of self-healing when provided with the right tools and environment. We want to help you restore, prevent you from having these issues or diseases. Okay, we were also just looking for a change, and I guess maybe some of you are. Maybe that's why you're here. So I knew before we went to Nashville that this was something that I wanted to bring home and be able to do myself. I have just always kind of been a little resistant to doctors and medications, even over-the-counter ones, since I was pretty young. So, and to me, over the years, it seems like the healthcare industry has become a money racket. I don't know, in the last 5 or 10 years, how many signs do you see like this? You know, the ER wait time, I don't think when I was younger I ever saw hospitals promoting their businesses. You just went when you needed to, and now people are like, oh, well, 10 minutes to, maybe I should go to the ER now. You know, I mean, they're really, I guess, trying to get our business. And then I put, why should you care? Well, one reason is this is the first time in history that the life expectancy has dropped. So I think, you know, when they're telling us that we're probably going to outlive our children, that just shouldn't be. It's concerning. So, to be tested, I'll show you how that works in a minute, but I was just going to let you know the steps. Make an appointment. There's 2 ways to test. You can do it in person. This wand you hold in your hand, we actually wet it just with water, and then this is non-invasive, but we tap into, there's about 10 places on your hands, meridian points, that you can tap into, and it will it'll tell what's going on in your body. So you can do it this way. For the elderly, for children, a lot of times we do a DNA swab of their cheek and we put that in the system. Same results. But if you are going to be tested, you need to make sure you are hydrated, drinking at least 16 ounces of water beforehand. And we find the body systems that you need to work on. In an hour test, we look for 3 body systems that are important to you, and everybody's story is just a little different. And then every 8 to 10 weeks, it's recommended that you retest. You don't have to be, but it's like, let's see, it's like peeling an onion. Let's see, I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so let me show you a little bit about what the testing is like. We wanted to hook this computer up to here, and we weren't able to, so I'm just going to show you on here kind of what happens. And this is hard to read, but when you start testing, we have to find a balance, high and low, just to make sure that you're testable, that you're hydrated, that you have energy. It's really best to do it before lunch. I've tested some people in the afternoon, but sometimes in the afternoon, if you're tired or sick, it may not read as well. So there are a couple sets here. These are your body systems, and I'm just going to read through a few, but it says brain, viability, cardiovascular, cellular, central nervous system, digestive. It's got enzyme, viability, immune, kidney, liver, lymphatic. I can't read all those right here. Plasma. It's got beliefs. It's got emotions, nutrition, pharmaceuticals is on here. So the first thing that we do is we go through this list here, and anything 45 to 55 is a balance. Anything above 55 or below 45 indicates an imbalance. Now, this was just a test I was doing on myself so you could see what it was like. Now, this doesn't mean that, you know, I have a big problem with immune or respiratory. It doesn't mean something's broken or that I'm really sick. I don't need to get concerned. You know, it's like, you know how you hold a weight, like you say you've got a 10-pound weight in your arm and you just hold it, and after a while it starts to get harder and harder. Okay, so that's kind of, it's like we're showing that there's some areas in your body feeling a little stress and they're off balance, and we want to bring them back to where they need to be. So most people have between 5 to 15 places that'll turn red or yellow just that first go through. Some people have more. There's a few people that's had less, but I put them in order over here. And you see these right here are yellow. If they're yellow, that means that they've been there longer. They're more congested. It might take them longer to heal. And the red is more of an inflammatory response, and usually it doesn't take as long. So what I did is I pulled all that stuff over here. The stuff that's not green, that's what I want to work on. So I pulled it over here. This is my stressor column. And then I'm able to put that over here, and this is called a focus search. And I always say it's like a needle in a haystack. I can put anything over there and ask a question. And this time I'm just asking, what's most important for my healing right now? What's my number one concern? If I'm going to work on one thing, what should it be? So what came up for me today was cardiovascular. That sounds scary, right? But it shouldn't be. It's just empowering to know that you know, this information you have, you can take it and you can do something with it, and you can fix whatever's not feeling good, and get things as healthy as you can. So when cardiovascular came up, I went into this library of, it's anatomy, physiology, and I pulled up, you can see colons down here, ears and hearing, but I pulled up a cardiovascular one because this gives me more information. And I went through my cardiovascular system. You can see heart tissue, spleen, there's some veins and arteries here, your aorta's on here, just all the things that have to do with your heart. And then you find whatever's red or yellow again, and you put that stuff over here. Okay? So then I've got these things checked off, and I'm going to say, I'm looking for a remedy. I don't want these things to stay red. I don't want to go home knowing that this is going on and I'm not working on it. So I put some remedies here, and I do that focus search. And here are some things that would help my cardiovascular. Some herbs, some supplements, nothing with side effects. Oils are in here. So I asked what would help, and I pulled this out of the store here. It's a Vietnamese cinnamon, okay, and that's out here in the bulk. And so after I find what helps me, I can check it and make sure that it is valuable for me. I can see if it's a stress to me, and I can see if it's beneficial. So I always check all three, and then I ask, if I'm taking this, then what will the stress be here? And so I went back through it. All this stuff was yellow and red, but some of it's turned green. And not everything did. Sometimes it all will the first time, but often there's a few things left. And I can go through it one more time, and I can say, if this turns green, if this balances, then will this. And then I clicked back through it again, and it's saying this cinnamon will balance my cardiovascular. Now, I dose myself, and I say, or I dose you, and say, I say, what's the value of me taking it 1 time a day, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, and I see how much I need. If it's a capsule, I say, do I need 1 capsule a day, 2 capsules a day? You can even say, is it better for me to take it in the morning or the evening? Is it better for me to take it before I eat or after I eat? You want to find the most valuable time on something. So after I do this, I clear this off because that's taken care of. If I take this, and I'm gonna take it for 8 to 10 weeks, okay? And I really love this part because when we were all tested, and we paid, I know we paid over $1,000 for our testing and supplements for 4 people. I was glad to know that it was not, I did not need to stay on these supplements forever. I needed to take them for a couple months, 2 or 3 months, and it would probably balance these things out and I could move on. Okay, and when we do a test, I would take this again and I would say, what do I need to work on next? And I would explore it that way. So it's like peeling an onion. You take that first layer, what's most important to your health, and you take care of that, and then in a couple months, if you're ready, you come back and you peel that next layer, and you just keep going. And I can tell you, I guess we've been testing for over a year, and I'm seeing things all the time that are getting better, things that I didn't really know could get better, different things that are healing in my body. And we like to always be working on something getting better. I mean, your body's working on things anyway, but this helps, giving it the right supplements or whatever your body needs. And sometimes it's not a supplement. There have been many times when it would pull up motion or someone needs water, and we can check and see how much motion they need, how many times a week, how many minutes do they need exercise, and what type of exercise. Do they need aerobic exercise? Do they need cardiovascular, or what? So you can pull up things that don't cost anything. It might be that you need rest, or spiritual activity can come up as a remedy. So there are a lot of things other than supplements that come up. So here's a couple things about the future of the health industry. and this was just an article I read. It was published August 21st. It says patients are taking center stage. They're looking for more personalized health care to suit their individual needs. We're all bio-individuals. I heard one of you saying beforehand what works for one person may not work for another. My mom took an aloe vera and it brought her cholesterol down. It was like a cap 60 points. I tested my dad and that wasn't going to help his cholesterol. So rather than spending money on things you may or may not need, it's a really good way to make sure you're doing what you need. Prevention rather than care is number 2. Intervention rather than treatment is what people are starting to see that they need. Number 3, people are demanding more. They're demanding rapid services, heavy on monitoring and switching protocols, more data than ever before. And a test, I'll show you an example of the report that it'll print for you, but you are able to get a lot of data from this, and it is important that we switch protocols, because anything that you take for a long time, it's good for you. If it's good for you at first, after taking it for a while, your body doesn't like it anymore. So it is important that you continue to change what you're doing and giving your body variety. Just like variety in what we eat is important. And then from the mouth of Thomas Edison, I love this quote. You see it a lot of times at chiropractors' offices. The doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent disease with nutrition. And when we talk about herbs and supplements, we are talking about nutrition. We try very hard to eat a lot of fresh vegetables, but the truth is our soil is depleted. It doesn't have the minerals that it used to, and it's hard to get the nutrition that we could have gotten in the early 1900s from what we eat. Okay, so just think about who in your life this will help. Our mission is not only to improve health and wholeness, so God's plan for your life can come into fruition, but to create a ripple effect. We want to help transform our families and then go into the communities. We want better health all around us. I think you can all agree when we go somewhere, we always see people that are sick, that are barely moving, that are overweight. All of us have people in our families that need better health. So I want you to take home something with you tonight. I've got just some different tips, reasons to drink water, keys to stress less. There's something over there, just something that will help you get started. I guess some of you have already started, but that will take you a little bit further into your health journey. Does anybody have any questions?
I got a question for you. Don't you have to, before you, I understand what you're saying, but don't you have to, even though you got the information, don't you, after you done test and all this, you have to first find out when you start using this, how your body does. Your body can either go up or down or, haywire. So you got to start taking it slowly.
You can.
To find out what you can, like you said, if it's not for you, then you got to go back and start over again.
Right, and that's why we like this so much, because it lets you know if this is good for you or if it's not good for you. And it's not the software letting you know, it's you. It's communicating with you. So your body is telling, like, is this something that's good for you? Is this valuable for you? And so whatever comes up on the software, we check, and your body is saying, this is what I need. This is going to help me. Now, sometimes there is a worse before the better. I've had different things happen where maybe one day my leg hurt, or one day I wasn't breathing good, working. Sometimes there is something, when we detox and when our body heals, we heal from the inside out. Sometimes things come up on our skin. One day I had a day where I just had a little itchy spots come up all day. That's usually related to digestion. But usually it's temporary, it doesn't last long, but when our body's healing, we do present things temporarily sometimes. When we detox, slowly, there are things that, our body tries to fight against a little bit. But some people do choose to start like on one supplement rather than 4 or 5 because they want to see how that affects them. I know by starting on 3 or 4 things, most people have, been surprised at how quickly they started feeling better in some way.
So you gotta first get your mind registering before you can get the rest of your body to register, right?
Well, some people, their brain will come up first, their mental or their central nervous system, and that is important because it's controlling everything. But some people have other things that are more important. Maybe their brain's already, in a good place of balance, and their hormones are causing them not to be able to sleep, causing them to gain weight or not lose weight, or all kinds of, be tired or whatever.
How much does it cost?
$149 is the cost. We're doing a $30 off through the end of the month, but just for being here, you guys can have that if you decide to test next month or something. So $119 for the initial, $99 for a follow-up, and I'm doing if you refer 3, then your follow-up is free, because when you start feeling better, you usually start just organically sharing it because other people, people around you that are hurting, and it can be someone in your family, but we're going to do that through the end of October, the refer 3. Now, I know a couple other people that do this, and I know that their prices are affordable when you compare it to the healthcare system. One charges $250 an hour, and one charges $300 an hour. I want as many people as want to be able to do it, so we can set up payment plans also to help you, and we can, help you find the supplements that you need at the best prices. But most people, it's definitely worth it. The information is, I had one lady tell me, I've got so much more information than I've ever gotten from my doctor by doing this. It's good, and it just gives you some of the answers that you need. And honestly, a lot of people already know. They know what's going on, or they have an idea, of what might come up. But sometimes something comes up and surprises them, but it's a body system related to another body system, or that body system has caused something else. So it's important we heal from the inside.
We go through this all the time. It's fine.
Well, I'll send around a report so you can just take a peek at it. But thank you guys so much for coming and listening, and you just let us know.
Come on, Tina.
How we can help you. Like I said, don't leave without getting something out here. I do have a sign-up sheet for testing. If you want to just put your email on there, don't circle that you want to test or anything, and then we can put you on an email list. And this is just kind of what it looks like, and it shows you kind of what we went through. Like, here's where we started. This person had endocrine glands, respiratory, and gastrointestinal, and it shows you like the balances and imbalances there. This lady right here was actually 92. We've got testimonies on our website, and it's really great to.
I was getting ready to ask about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, testimony.
I do. Yes, I have some with me too that I can put out here for you to take home. Let me tell you about this lady real quick, and I'll let them get started. But she just had her 93rd birthday last week, but I don't want to leave anything out. But this is, I've been the primary caregiver for my 92-year-old mom for the last several years, since she got to where she could no longer stay alone. For the past few months, she'd really started going downhill. Hospice was coming in to help because she'd stopped getting up to go to the bathroom and washing herself in the shower. She wasn't talking very much, and the biggest problem may have been her rapid weight loss. She had started picking at her food like a 3-year-old and stopped eating. She just didn't have an appetite. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I swabbed her cheek, and I tested her. I called back, and within a week, she was getting up and going to the bathroom. She was washing herself. She was chatting more. And so then I asked, kind of like, I wasn't sure, but I wanted to know how her eating was, and she was already cleaning her plate. So I'm just thankful that she feels better, and hospice has dropped her, and she's actually just under the 30th test. And so she was on 3 supplements, and it really changed her life, even at 92.